Hello, thank you for joining our talk today. My name is Sheena Payne-Lunn and I'm the Historic Environment Record Officer for Worcester City Council, managing the wealth of material contained within the Worcester City Historic Environment Record, a database of all recorded historic buildings, monuments and sites within our beautiful historic city. I'm going to talk to you today about a project that has been some years in the making, bringing together heritage and health in new and exciting ways. I'm talking about Worcester Life Stories, a project that aims to bring local people together through shared stories of the City of Worcester. It is led by Worcester City Council and Herefordshire and Worcestershire Health and Care NHS Trust, with funding thanks to National Lottery players. Two separate but linked web platforms are currently under development. The first, Know Your Place Worcester, will give access to the wealth of historic photographs and maps contained within the Worcester City HER, while most importantly inviting members of the public to share their local knowledge, memories and images. More on this shortly. The Worcester Life Stories platform is being co-produced with the public through a series of online workshops. People will be able to create and share their own life story. Developing life stories promotes well-being and inclusion, especially for older people and people living with dementia. Identified themes such as sport or nature will be available in easily accessible packs, allowing people to come together over shared memories and experience. Funding has also been awarded by Historic England to support research by the University of Worcester Association for Dementia Studies into the impact that heritage can have on our health and well-being. A number of stakeholder organisations are supporting the project, and further details of their fantastic contributions can be found via the project website. This diagram gives a brief overview of how the project is structured, showing the Know Your Place web application in the top centre, fed by many hours of volunteer support to upload and populate photograph descriptions on the one side, and by the knowledge and memories of local people on the other. And this project really seeks to highlight that our local community has a huge wealth of knowledge and expertise. Underneath we can see the Life Stories platform, co-produced through a series of workshops by the local community, service users, care providers and organisations, and developed by the NHS Trust's developers, Verse 1. Supporting these two platforms is a programme of events and training workshops that will run throughout the 2 years of the project, and in spite of the challenges presented by the post-COVID world, a number of online events have taken place and proven to be very popular. So, given my more archaeological persuasion, I'm going to be focusing this short talk on some of the heritage aspects of the project. Links will be provided at the end if you'd like to find out more. We are very excited to be working with Bristol City Council, who developed the web map-based platform Know Your Place back in 2010. Since then, a number of local authorities across the South West have worked with Bristol to develop their own version. However, Know Your Place Worcester will be the first of its kind in the West Midlands. This slide shows the main screen of Know Your Place Bristol. It looks quite like a Google map, and you can navigate around the map in a similar sort of way, zooming to points of interest and panning across the city. What is really valuable about the platform is the ability to overlay different sets of data, and on the right-hand side of the slide you can see the list of information layers that have been included. By ticking these layers on, the corresponding points appear on the map, and clicking on these gives you further information, a descriptive commentary perhaps, an image or even an audio clip. As an example, the Worcester City HER monument records will be made available in this way, enabling you to search for information on historic buildings like the cathedral or your local pub, or for archaeological monuments, for instance the remains of a Roman building that was uncovered during excavations on the site of the Hive. Some of the more visual resources that will be available include historic maps, and in the example here you can see that there is a central divider with a 19th century map on the left and a modern map on the right. The divider can be drawn across the map to move between the historic and modern maps, one overlaid on the other. It's a great way to explore the city and discover what used to be on a particular site, whether that be the historic high street or indeed the house where you grew up. One of the maps that we will be making available in this way is the highly detailed 1 to 500 Ordnance Survey First Edition. This fantastic map dates from 1886, and as you zoom in, you pick up details of street and landscape of that time, including street names, pub names, building uses, and even details such as trees, water pumps, and public urinals. Moving swiftly on, one of the key resources for this project, particularly as we think about people's life stories, is our photographic collection. There's really nothing like a photograph to ignite the memory and to inspire a whole host of stories. The HER contains as many as 50,000 photographs taken by conservation officers, planning officers, public health inspectors, and many other people who worked for the City Council during the 20th century. A large core of images date to 1951 and illustrate the city street by street in an amazing amount of detail. There is such a wealth of information to be discovered in this collection, and I'm really excited to be able to make these available for local people to enjoy and to provide the basis of their own life stories. This image is a stunning illustration of life in Worcester's blockhouse in the late 1950s. It very recently served as a timely reminder of just how detailed local memory and knowledge is after the photograph was included in a newspaper feature asking whether the lady could be identified. Within an hour of the newspaper hitting the shop shelves, I had already been contacted by a local chap who identified the lady as June Jones, holding baby Debbie, and located in the rear yard of a house in Temperance Street, now demolished. By the end of the day, I had been put in touch with Debbie, who was able to tell me of her family's story, bringing the photograph fully to life, now populated by real people in real places. It is this kind of tangible, lived experience that is so fleeting and so easily lost, but providing a mechanism to capture this is another aspect of the Know Your Place site. By the end of April 2021, Know Your Place Worcester will be launched online. Alongside the historic maps, archaeological data and photographs is something perhaps even more exciting, the community layer. This is the element that I refer to in this slide as a community-owned and generated oral history and photographic archive. This is where you, as a local person, can share your own memories, perhaps a photograph taken when you were growing up, an event you attended, a place where you lived, worked or played. You are the expert through your own lived experience of a place, and by sharing your expertise, the site will continue to evolve and grow. As part of the Worcester Life Stories project, we will be running a number of events, initially online, but later, as we hope restrictions ease, in person too. As part of these, we will demonstrate how Know Your Place Worcester works, and how you can very simply add your own material or look for something that is interesting and relevant to you. Access to the website and the images and information it contains will be free and unrestricted to the community. So, how can you get involved? This photograph shows some of our amazing volunteers from the Changing Face of Worcester at Tudor House Museum, just before lockdown forced the group to reconvene to a Zoom-based weekly catch-up. The team have been hard at work producing descriptions of the photographs in order to identify key information within them. Our aim is that if you want to look for the street you grew up on, or the shop where you bought your best shoes, or even your first car, the description will be detailed enough that you can search the collection and find what you're looking for. It's painstaking but thoroughly enjoyable work. Get in touch if you'd like to find out more. I've already mentioned that there will be a number of events and workshops over the coming months, so keep an eye out for those. You may already be aware of our weekly online quizzes that have been taking place over the last few months, with to date more than 85,000 completed quizzes. Keep an eye out in the Worcester News for a weekly photo feature too. We are keen to hear your stories of life in Worcester, some of which will be included with permission in the Worcester Life Stories exhibition at Worcester City Museum from June this year. We look forward to seeing you there. If you'd like to find out more, there are lots of ways in which you can do this via our website www.worcesterlifestories.org.uk, or via Facebook or Twitter. You can also find us on YouTube, and there is already lots of content on there, including our previous workshops and the online exhibition Memories of the Shambles. Thank you very much for watching, and we look forward to hearing your stories soon.